In this video, we are going to see how to find the in-order successor of a node in a binary search tree. We know that the in-order traversal, we first visit the left subtree, then we visit the node, and then we visit the right subtree of the node. So take an example of this tree. If this is the root node over here, we will first traverse left. So we will go and visit each and every node in the left subtree. At each node, we will recursively go left. So the in-order traversal for this particular example would be 1. Then we will go back and visit the node 3. There is no right subtree for this node, so we go back and it is 4. Then we start visiting the right subtree, and for this node 6 we will first visit the left subtree, so it will be 5. We go back 6. There is no right subtree, so we go back again. We have already visited this node with data 4. We go back. Left subtree of the root is complete, so now we write the root data, which is 10. Now we start visiting the right subtree. So again, when we reach this node, we will traverse left. So we write 11, go back, write the node data 12. There is no right subtree for 12. We go back, write the data for this node 16, go to the right subtree 18, and this is the in-order traversal for this particular binary search tree. You can check my earlier videos on how to do the in-order traversal of a binary tree. So the time taken to compute this in-order successor of a binary search tree of all, that means we have to visit each and every node, and it would take order of n time. Suppose if I have to find what is the successor of a node with data 10, I will have to do this in-order traversal of the tree, and this is going to take order of n time. But now finding the successor, it could be a frequently required operation. That suppose if I have any node, say 12, then I need to know what is the in-order successor of this node. And we do not want this complexity of order of n every time. So can we do better and reduce this complexity and make it order of h, where h is the height of the tree. So what is the logic that would be required for this? Let's see. So there are two cases over here. The first case is that there is a node with a right subtree. Suppose if I have to find the in-order successor of this node n, and this node is having a right subtree. We know that in-order successor is left, then the node, and then the right subtree. So we know that the successor of the node would be found in the right subtree. And where in the right subtree? Once we go to the right subtree, we will have to go as left as possible. So we know that once we have this node n, we will first go to node with data 6, and then we will first traverse the left subtree of this node. Once we reach here, there is no further left node. We know that 5 will be the successor for this node n. That means a node with right subtree, we have to find the leftmost node in the right subtree of that particular node. This is case 1. There is another case when the node is having no right subtree. What will be the logic in finding the successor for a node with no right subtree? So let's take an example of this node. Let's call it n. This has no right subtree. What is the traversal? Left, node, and right. That means if we are over here, that means the left subtree has already been visited, and we are back at this node has also been visited. So what will be the successor? If there is no right subtree, that means we have to go back to its parent node. Let's call it n1. But since node n is in the right subtree of n1, that means n1 has also been visited earlier, because We first did the left traversal, went back, visited the node n1, and then we have started with the right traversal. So before visiting n, we have already visited n1. That means n1 cannot be the successor of n. So we go still further up and find the ancestor. When we come to this node, which is the root node, or let's call it node n2, now we see that this node n is in the left subtree of node n2. So if n is in the left subtree of n2, that means n2 has not been visited earlier before visiting n. So n2 will be the successor of n. Let's take another example. Let's say we have to find the successor of this node, which is n, and this is also not having the right subtree. The left subtree has already been visited, and we have already gone back to this node. We have visited this node also. So there is no right subtree. So what will be the successor? Then we go back and we reach node n1. Node n is in the left subtree of n1. That means n1 has not been visited earlier. So the successor of n would be node n1. So what is the logic? The logic is that we have to find the ancestor in whose left subtree the node belongs. And this node, this ancestor, should be the deepest node in whose left subtree the node is, because n is in the left subtree of node n1 also and node n2 also, but the deepest node is node n1. So n1 would be the successor of node n, and this is the logic that we are going to use when we are going to write the pseudocode. So we are defining the node of each of the node in this binary search tree by this structure over here, struct bst node. We are assuming that this binary search tree is storing data. So we have int, it is storing integers. So we have int data. We have a pointer to the left child. So this pointer will also be bst node pointer type, and a pointer to the right child. So again, it will be a bst node pointer. We know that any node which does not have a child would have a null. So like if this is a node which is not having any left child or a right child, it is having null values. Like this node over here which is not having a right child, again it is having a null value over here. So now we will proceed, we will write a function find successor. We are going to pass the root pointer to this function, and also we are going to pass the data for which we are finding the successor. So suppose we give the value 4 over here. That means we are going to find the successor for this data 4 over here. We will find that which value or which data will be the successor, in order successor for this particular data value. We will also pass the address of the root node. So we are assuming that the root node is at address 200. So the root pointer is storing that address 200. So we will pass these two values in our function. And finally, this function, when after completion, it is going to return the address of the node, which is the successor of this particular node. Let us call this n1. So whichever node is the successor of this particular node, that address will be passed back to the calling function. So the output parameter or the return parameter is also struct bst node pointer. So the first thing that we need to do is we have declare a local variable current. This current is going to give us the address of the node where that data is lying. So here we have passed in a data 4. So what is the address of the node which is having this data? That means we are looking for the address of node n1. So again we are going to implement a basic function which will search this node for this particular data, and you can check one of my earlier videos to see how to implement this function. This is a very basic function. We will start from the root node and keep on traversing till we reach the node with this data 4. Once we have received this, reached that node, this current will hold the address of that node n1. So if the address of the node is 300, so that means the current pointer, it is currently holding the value of this node, which is 300. Next we check whether the root is null or not. If the root is null, that means the tree is empty, and in that case that means we don't have any successor to look for, and we will simply return a null value. In this case the root value is not null, so we move to the next statement. Is current arrow right not equal to null? That means whatever our logic was to find whether there is a right subtree of the node or not. We are looking for an in order successor. That means our traversal is left, node and right. When we are looking at the successor of the node, that means we have to find in the right subtree, and in the right subtree we have to go as left as possible to find the successor. So if we have to go to right subtree, we will have to check where is the right pointer of that particular node. So that is going to point to the right child of this particular node n1. So we check whether it is null or not. If it is null, that means there is no right subtree. So what we are doing is we are checking is current arrow right not equal to null. In this case it is not equal to null because it has a right child, and current arrow right is actually, it is pointing to the right child which is at address 350. So we are again, if current arrow right is not null, we will declare another variable temp, which we will store the value of current arrow right in this temp variable. Now we will have to find the leftmost node in the right subtree. So for doing that, we will keep on traversing left. So while temp arrow left, what is temp? Temp is storing the value 350. So temp arrow left is this value 500. 500, this is not equal to null. So again we are going to update the value of temp, and now temp will point to temp arrow left, which is 500, and now we are going to return temp. So till the time we are going left, we will keep on following this loop, this while loop, till the time we do not find a null value in the left subtree of the node. We will keep going left and keep on updating temp. As soon as we reached this 500, we have seen that this temp arrow left is a null. So this is going to be our final value of temp, and this is what we are going to return to the calling function. So we know that the successor of this node n1 is this node 500. So whatever is the data at 500, that is what is going to be the successor of this data 4. So once we have the address of the node which is the successor, we can take out the data also. What if the node for which we were looking finding the successor, what if it does not have a right subtree? So what was the logic for that? That if it does not have a right subtree, we have to find the deepest ancestor in whose left subtree that node is lying. So that logic, now we start again. So now let's take an example of this node which does not have a right subtree. So suppose we are passing data 6 over here. Again we will start over here. We will find the node which is containing this value 350. Suppose this node is n2, and this is going to return a value 350 because this this node at address 350 is having the data 6. So current is having the value 350. We'll check whether root is null or not. No, it is not null, so the tree is empty. We will check if current arrow right is not equal to null. That means we have to check whether a right child exists or not. In this case, the current arrow right is null. That means we cannot go into this environment. We will come to this statement now, and what we have to do is now we will have a variable called successor. We are going to initialize a variable successor, which will be the final successor address, or that means the address of the node which will be the successor for node N2. Initially we are initializing it to a value null. We also have another variable a node, which is what we are calling the ancestor node. So we are trying to find the deepest ancestor over here. So we initially start with the root value, which is 200, and we have to find the deepest ancestor of N2 in whose left subtree N2 is lying. Now we will check while anode is not equal to current. Current is 350. We are at this node. A node is over here at the root. So since this is not equal to current, we come over here, we go inside this while loop. If a node arrow data is greater than current data, that means if a node arrow data is greater than current arrow data, that means the current is in the left subtree of a node. So if this is true, then we have to go left. So we will update the value of successor. Successor will be changed to a node. That means there is a possibility that our successor is this a node. So we are going to update the value of successor, and this will become equal to a node. And a node now we will update and go left. So successor arrow left. Currently this was the successor. 200 is the successor. So we will start going to the left of this. So anode value will change to 300. We have to start traversing the left subtree now. Now again we go back over here. So if we were already in the if environment over here, now we go back again over here. Is anode not equal to current? Yes, anode is 300. That means we are at node N1 and our current is N2. So it is not equal to this. So what we have to do is again go back into the while loop and check if anode data is greater than current data. Anode data is this, the data at node N1, which is 4. Is it greater than current data? No, it is not greater than current data. What does that mean? That means our current node N2 is in the right subtree of N1, because that is the property of binary search tree, that if the current is having a value larger than this node N1, it will be in the right subtree. So this condition is not satisfied. So what we will do, we come to this else statement. That means a node is equal to a node arrow right. So a node will be updated to a node arrow right. That means this value 350. So a node will be changed to this value 350, because that means that N2 is in the right subtree of N1. Now we go back to this while statement again and again check, is anode not equal to current? But in this case anode is equal to current. So we are out of this loop. That means we have found our successor, and our successor is 200, which is the root node, because N2 does not lie in the left subtree of N1. It lies only in the left subtree of the root node. So our successor is going to be 200. This is the successor, and the data over here 10, That is the data that is going to be the successor of data 6. Now let's take another example. Now let's take an example of this data 3. Again we call the function search, and which will find the node which is having this value. So current will have the value of the address of this node, which is 400. We'll check whether root is null, so we need not go inside this. If current arrow right is not equal to null, that means we are trying to find again whether there is a right subtree or not, but we find that there is no right subtree. Current arrow right is actually null. So we come to this statement over here and we check whether we go with the else environment. So the successor over here will again be made null. We have to find this address, and a node we will initialize with the root address, which is 200. We will keep on checking this a node with the current node, whether we have reached the current node or not. So since a node is not equal to the current node, we go inside the while environment, this while loop, and we check whether a node arrow data is greater than current data. A node data is 10 and current data is 3. That means this node N2 is in the left subtree of our node, which is a node. So in this case, successor will be updated with a node. So successor has been changed to a node, and a node will be updated to successor arrow left. That means now we have to start traversing the left subtree of the a node. So here successor arrow left is 300. So a node will be updated to 300 and we will reach this node N1. So again we go back over here. Is a node equal to current or not? No, it is not equal. So again we check whether a node arrow data is greater than current arrow data. So we see that a node arrow data is 4, current arrow data is 3. So again it is greater than the current data. That means again we have to go left. So in this case, if this is greater than current arrow data, now our successor will become a node. So now our successor will become a node, which is 300, and our a node will become successor arrow left. So successor is arrow left is 400. Now we go back again over here. We check, is a node equal to current? Yes, now a node is equal to current. So we are out and we return the successor, which is 300. That means 300 is the node which is going to be the in order successor of this node N2, and the data at this node N1, the successor node N1, which is 4, this will be the in order traversal successor of this data at node N2. So this is the logic that we have to follow to find the in order successor of a node in a binary search tree. Similarly, you can use the same logic to find the in order predecessor also.